October 23rd, and this is your coffee break on the HAN Network. I'm Kate Czaplinski with the latest local news, including a serious barn fire in New Canaan, the rescue of a bicyclist in Easton, and much more. Frank Granito has your forecast and later on a Nutmeg Sports update, including announcing the winners of Athlete of the Week. And Donald Lang will join us later to take a look back on this day in history. But first, fire engulfed and completely destroyed a barn at 986 South Avenue in New Canaan Sunday night, and blowing embers started small fires on 3 neighboring structures and nearby brush. Now, those were quickly extinguished by firefighters, and there were no reported injuries, and the cause of the fire is still unknown. That, according to New Canaan Fire Chief Jack Hennessy at the scene at about 8:30 p.m. Now, neighbors at the scene reported flames 40 feet in the air and higher, and flames fully involved the barn when firefighters got to the scene. Now, Route 124 South Avenue in New Canaan and Mansfield Avenue in Darien were closed in both directions as workers were in the area and staged there for further assistance. Now, the 1,400 square foot barn is on the property with a house built in 1790, according to the New Canaan Assessor's Office. That 3-alarm fire brought firefighters from Darien, Norwalk, Vista, Pound Ridge, and Wilton to support New Canaan, which was in command at the scene. Many of those responders were in the woods knocking down burning trees and checking on neighboring structures to eliminate any threat of more embers starting new fires. Now, at the time, Chief Hennessy advised firefighters to stay out of that collapse zone as it appeared that the charred frame of the barn might collapse. You can get more on that story at ncadvertiser.com. In other news, Easton area first responders rescued an injured bicyclist from Trout Brook Valley last Friday afternoon and took him to the hospital for treatment of a broken leg. Now, the man used his cell phone to call for help around 1:30 p.m. after breaking his leg while riding his bike on a trail in the nature preserve. A 911 dispatcher was able to pull the GPS coordinates off his phone, according to Sergeant Jonathan Arnold of the Easton Police Department. That man was at an unknown location about 2 miles from his starting point, believed to be the Well Hill Road entrance to Trout Brook Valley. Now, 6 first responders from the Easton Police Department, Fire Department, and EMS walked into the preserve to look for that injured man. Getting to him was a challenge because of the rough terrain and the spotty wireless coverage. Now, they called in mutual aid from the Weston and Long Hill Fire Department in Trumbull, both of which brought all-terrain vehicles. Now, after a 2-hour search, they were able to find the man. The 6 first responders carried him out in a basket for 100 feet to a trail that the ATVs could access and take him to an ambulance on the road. Aside from the broken leg, the man was otherwise in good shape. Well, Shelton police arrested a resident for allegedly breaking into a home and stealing the owner's belongings. Now, on Thursday, October 19th, the Shelton police arrested 20-year-old Michael Noonan and charged him with 5th-degree burglary and 3rd-degree larceny. Now, Noonan's arrest stems from a burglary complaint that was filed with the Shelton Department in June of 2017. The complainant said he arrived home and discovered his apartment was broken into while he was out and that cash and property were stolen. Now, during the investigation, Shelton detectives were investigating a separate case, and while interviewing suspects, they learned that Noonan and another Shelton man was responsible for that burglary. You can get more on that story at sheltonherald.com. And in other news, 3 juveniles were arrested Saturday after state police located them in a car that was stolen out of New Canaan. On Saturday around 12:30 in the morning, troopers and officers from Southbury Police were dispatched to the area of Woodsway Road in Southbury to attempt to locate a stolen motor vehicle believed to be in that area. Now, New Canaan police had contacted state police asking for help locating that vehicle stolen from their town on October 19th after they received some information that the vehicle, a 2017 BMW, was in Southbury. Now, troopers and officers searched the area and located the stolen BMW on Beacon Hill Road. The BMW was stopped and 2 juveniles were immediately taken into custody. 2 additional juveniles ran from the car into the nearby woods. Troopers from Southbury Police and State Police Canine teams searched the area and the woods for the 2 juveniles that ran, but one of the 2 juveniles that ran from the scene was later apprehended by a State Police Canine and taken into custody. The 3 juveniles, ages 15, 16, and 17, were charged with motor vehicle theft, 6th-degree larceny, and interfering with an officer. And Wilton resident Marguerite O'Connor led a group of 20 sign-bearing protesters outside State Superior Court in Norwalk Friday morning, seeking the maximum penalty for a pair of bear poachers who were caught in the act in Wilton on September 16th. Now, that protest was originally scheduled for September 28th, but the court date for those arrested was postponed until October 20th. After about 15 minutes of walking up and down Belden Avenue, O'Connor was informed that lawyers for the two men that morning had secured another postponement, this time for October 25th. O'Connor said they will be back for that new court date. Ann Hornish, Connecticut director of the Humane Society of the United States, and some of her members will also on the scene to rally against the bear poaching incident. There's a lot more on that story at wiltonbulletin.com. And Adam Goldstein needs a new kidney so he can continue to do life-saving work as Assistant Chief of Easton's Volunteer Emergency Medical Service. But he will also be happy if someone else on Connecticut's list of 1,400 people in need of a kidney is able to get one. He's raising awareness for the Altruistic Kidney Donation Program and spoke to HAN's Easton Courier about it. Take a look.
I'm Adam Goldstein, the Assistant Chief of Easton EMS. One of the most important things that I've been trying to do here, along with getting myself a kidney transplant, is spread the knowledge of the altruistic kidney donation programs, in which patients or people can call their local transplant centers and offer to be living donors in order to help lower the burden on the transplant waiting list in Connecticut. Right now there are over 1,400 people waiting on the list. However, due to availability of cadaveric donations, they can only do about 300 donations a year.
Well, you can visit kidney pair donation at unos.org to learn more. All right, taking a turn now, we're going to throw it over to Frank Granito to get a look at the forecast. Frank.
Thank you, Kate. We saw some early morning fog cover now that's starting to dissipate, and we're going to see mostly cloudy skies throughout this evening and into tonight. Warmer out again today, an expected high of 74 degrees and a little bit of humidity to go along with it. Mostly cloudy skies tonight with a low of 62. Going to be very humid overnight. Could see a passing shower or two late that carries into Tuesday morning. Those overnight showers, as we mentioned, carrying to tomorrow morning's commute, and then heavier rainfall in the middle and later parts of the day. Breezy out, wind gusts around 25 miles per hour. And on the warmer side again, temperatures in the mid-70s. There's a chance for scattered thunderstorms later on in the day. Heavy rainfall is expected tomorrow night, and we could see a chance of flooding in some areas before Wednesday. The Wednesday morning is going to bring on and off periods of rain and drizzle. Showers are expected to pass by noon. You'll see mostly cloudy skies for the day, but Kate, not totally done with the rain. We could see a couple more showers coming back Wednesday night with very cool temperatures dropping all the way down to the 40s. Hopefully, though, we see some dry conditions by the end of this week when the FCX playoffs start. Kate, that'll do it for the weather. Back over to you.
All right, fingers crossed. Thanks so much, Frank. We're going to step out for a break. When we come back, Donald Eng will take a look back on this day in history. Frank has your Nutmeg Sports Update, and we have more local news, including new life for the Reading Roadhouse, coming up after this.
We know it's your busy season, and that's why Walter Stewart's Market is here to make things easy by offering the best of autumn under one roof. Walter Stewart's Market is your local one-stop fall shop. There are so many seasonal flavors to savor, and Stewart's has them all, from Blue Jay Orchard's local cider donuts to Vermont Farmstead cheddar and all of your favorite varieties of local apples and pears. Walter Stewart's Market, 229 Elm Street, New Canaan, and find us at stewartsmarket.com.
Want a new experience in car buying? Scap Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram with one of the largest inventories of new 2- and 4-door Wranglers. We are Connecticut's Wrangler headquarters. Come visit our new Ram Truck Center. Browse our websites, scapchryslerjeep.com or scapdodge.net to find the new Jeep, Chrysler Dodge car, minivan, or Ram truck you've been looking for. Just 2 miles from both I-95 or the Merritt Parkway exit 44. Save thousands right now during the Jeep Celebration event and Ram Power Days. Now through October 31st.
At Black Horse Garage, we fulfill all your sports car needs. We specialize in manufacturer-recommended service and aftermarket high-performance parts and installation. We have one of the nation's top storage facilities and offer a high-end collision department that understands your need for detail. Visit blackhorsegarage.com for more.
The Kitchen Center offers quality cabinetry and affordable pricing. Visit our showroom for a free consultation with our professional design staff. For all your other home improvement needs, visit Northeast Building Supply, our full-service lumberyard and window showroom. The Kitchen Center, a division of Northeast Building Supply, 1470 Barnum Avenue, Bridgeport.
Dr. Stephen Molinaro and Peter Healy of Family Practice Dentistry and Laser Dental Care have served Ridgefield for over 22 years. Experienced staff offer gentle drillless techniques, preventative care, and cosmetic procedures in a relaxed environment. Grateful for the community's trust and support through the years, new patients and their families are welcome. Call today. Dr. Stephen Molinaro.
Welcome back to this October 23rd edition of your Coffee Break on the HAN Network. I'm Kate Czaplinski, and it's time to throw it over to Donald Eng to take a look back on this date in history. Don.
Well, it was one of the biggest moments in Canadian baseball history, which admittedly is not a very high bar, but, we'll get to that in a moment. First, though, we go to 1707. The first Parliament of Great Britain begins. That's Queen Anne receiving the Act of Union there. For 5 centuries, the two countries, Scotland and England, had governed themselves, but the Act of Union in 1707 formally merged the two into what we now call Great Britain. Now, it would be another century before Ireland joined, forming what was then called the Parliament of the United Kingdom. The addition of Northern Ireland in 1927 completed what we now know as Parliament. To 1861, President Abraham Lincoln suspends the writ of habeas corpus in Washington, D.C. That's him there stomping on some rights for all military cases. Now, Washington was largely undefended and was just across the river from hostile territory, which made Congress uneasy, as you might expect. So Lincoln essentially placed the city under military control, which was legally questionable. You want irony? Baltimore newspaper editor Frank Key Howard, grandson of Francis Scott Key, criticized the unrestricted arrest powers and was himself arrested without habeas corpus. He was then imprisoned inside Fort McHenry, where the Star-Spangled Banner had flown over the land of the free, inspiring his grandfather. Lincoln would suspend the arrests of political prisoners a little bit later on that year. 1944, the Battle of Leyte Gulf begins in the Philippines, essentially the last stand for the Imperial Japanese Navy. Leyte was actually 4 battles over 4 days and about 40,000 square miles, but taken together, it was, by some measures, the largest naval battle in history. About 360 ships, 200,000 sailors involved, 6 American, 28 Japanese ships sunk in the battle, along with more than 500 planes destroyed. The Japanese Navy would never again mount large-scale operations. Finally, now we go to 1993, north of the border for this.
Joe has had his moments. 2 balls and 2 strikes on it. Here's the pitch on the way, a swing and a belt, left field, way back, Blue Jays win it! The Blue Jays are World Series champions as Joe Carter hits a 3-run home run in the 9th inning, and the Blue Jays have repeated as World Series champions. Touch 'em all, Joe. You'll never hit a bigger home run in your life.
That was Joe Carter hitting a game-winning home run off Mitch Williams to win the 1993 World Series, the second time in history the World Series had ended with a home run, and the only come-from-behind World Series winning homer. Williams had saved 43 games that year. He would save only 6 more in the rest of his career over the next 4 seasons. Carter currently stays busy running a charity to benefit the Children's Aid Foundation. Williams is a part-time baseball commentator and bowling alley and bar owner. That is your look back in history for today, October 23rd, and I'm Donald Eng.
All right, thanks so much, Don. Well, in other local news, those who have recently driven by the Reading Roadhouse, which has been closed since July, may have noticed some movement. Well, come December, the landmark at 406 Reading Road will be back in business. Sandra Wright, the mother of the former owner, Jordan Wright, who died of cancer last November at age 40, said she couldn't be more pleased with the Roadhouse's new owners, Easton couple Aaron and Sean Riley. She said if Jordan could have sent us someone, he would have sent us these people. She said they are the perfect fit. Now, the Rileys, who have 2 sons, James 6 and Patrick 3, said they purchased the Roadhouse as a way of bringing their family closer to home. Before moving to Easton 3 years ago, they lived in Manhattan. Sean Riley, 39 years old, is not new to the restaurant business. He owns My Belly's Playlist, a neighborhood sandwich cafe with 2 locations in Manhattan, one in Battery Park City and on 35th Street in Midtown. The couple said they plan to make very minor repairs and improvements to the Roadhouse. There's more at thereadingpilot.com. And what's the difference between a bed and breakfast and a hotel? Well, that's the debate at a Ridgefield Planning and Zoning Commission public hearing where an application for a proposed bed and breakfast on Circle Drive was presented and contested by an opposing crowd of about 100 residents. Now, attorney Peter Olson, who represents Hobby Drive residents Rob and Claudia Pacifico, spoke first and told the commission that there was no distinction between a bed and breakfast, a home posted on the website of Airbnb, or a hotel. Now, Olson was one of of 2 people who spoke in opposition to the project last Tuesday night. The commission didn't get the opportunity to hear from 37 other members of the public who had signed up to give comment, and that's why they decided to extend that hearing to Wednesday, November 8th. Now, the Pacificos founded the Circle Drive Neighbors Alliance after Tom and Kathy Savaca submitted plans this summer to convert their home into a 2-room bed and breakfast. The Hobby Drive couple collected almost 100 signatures from neighbors who also opposed the application and cited commercial intrusion into a residential zone and additional traffic to the neighborhood as 2 of their primary reasons for opposing that project. And in Monroe, plans are in place that guarantee that police officers wearing body cameras in schools will not violate students' privacy rights, according to school administrators and local law enforcement. Now, with that in mind, the Board of Education last Monday approved adding wording in the school resource officer memo of understanding to include officers wearing body cameras on school property. Now, Monroe police will begin wearing the body cameras early next month. Officials said the board wanted to make sure that the department's use of body cameras in the schools did not violate the Federal Educational Rights and Privacy Act, which protects the privacy of student confidential records. Now, Police Captain Keith White said the department can redact students in the video, such as an innocent student seen in the background not involved in a particular incident an officer has on his body camera. There's more on that story at monroecourier.com. And the Milford Animal Control runs a pet food bank to help residents having trouble feeding their pets, and it's stocked solely by donations from the public. Well, the organization is now asking for donations of pet food, toys, treats, and old blankets, and noted they're currently very low on wet and dry cat food. Now, items can be brought to Milford Animal Control at 664 East Broadway Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. and on Saturday from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. Milford Animal Control is located in Silver Sand State Park with an entrance located on Meadowside Road, and you can get more information at milfordmirror.com. All right, let's take a turn now. Throw it over to Frank Granito for your Nutmeg Sports Update. Frank.
Thank you, Kate. And it is Monday, so we have our winners for the HAN Network's Athlete of the Week, brought to you by OrthoCT. Congratulations to Francis Mirabelli and to Joe Janage of the Norwalk Field Hockey and Fairfield Ward football teams. Mirabelli scored both Norwalk goals as the Bears handed the Blue Wave their first loss of the season last Tuesday. Both teams sitting at the top of the league standings now. Darien 12-1-1, Norwalk 12-1. Mirabelli also scored 3 goals and had 2 assists when the Bears took down Danbury 8-0 last Saturday. And Joe Janage had 3 sacks for the Mustangs in their 27-0 victory over Danbury, leading the defense to their first shutout in 8 years. Janage also helped out the Ward offense. He rushed for a 26-yard touchdown in that win. So congratulations to both of those athletes. Make sure you tune into Nutmeg Sports this afternoon. We've got your Week 6 nominees coming up for Athlete of the Week. Taking a look at this past weekend's FCAC football schedule, 8 games in action, 8 winners, and they were St. Joe's 48-20 on top of Stanford. Staples blanking Norwalk 27-0. Brian McMahon unfortunately falling to Bridgeport Central. They get their first win of the year, 26-7 the Hilltoppers win. New Canaan a 42-6 victory over Trinity Catholic. Darien blanks Fairfield Ward in a game much closer than many expected, 17-0. Danbury also getting their first win of the year, 39-27. They take down the Trumbull Eagles. Greenwich rolls big, 60-15 over the West Hill Vikings. And on Saturday afternoon at Tiger Hollow, in a reinstallment of the rivalry between Ridgefield and Wilton, the Tigers come away with a 17-3 victory. Great job by Greg Gatto, rushing for a touchdown and throwing one as well. We'll have full highlights and analysis of that game on Nutmeg Sports at 2 o'clock this afternoon. That'll do it for this Nutmeg Sports Update. Let's go back over to Kate.
All right, thanks so much, Frank. We're going to step out for a break, and when we come back, we're going to recap some of the top stories we're following today after this.
Voted Best Gourmet to Go in Fairfield County, Palmer's extensive menu offers everything you'll need to make your next event easy and delicious. Whether you're hosting a small get-together or planning a large celebration, they've got you covered breakfast through dessert. Order online at palmersdarien.com or call 203-655-2077.
Now teeing off, Paul Miller from Miller Nissan in Fairfield.
Excuse me, Mr. Miller. What about my new Sentra?
Right now, lease a 2017 Sentra S for only $97 a month.
He is never going to retire.
Bankwell combines the best personalized service with high-tech banking features for our customers' convenience. We pride ourselves on being a strong community partner. You don't settle for average in anything else you do. Why settle for an average bank? Don't just bank when you can bank well instead. Visit mybankwell.com for more. Manfredi New Canaan is celebrating 3 exceptional years selling Rolex watches and fine jewelry to the Fairfield County community. We appreciate all our loyal clients and look forward to welcoming and helping you discover the perfect gift to celebrate life's most important occasions.
At InSports Trumbull, the game is always on inside.
Registration is now open for our fitness training programs for high school athletes. The InSports Performance Center is offering blast speed classes, athletic functional movement assessments, and both men's and women's elite speed and strength training. Our premier programs help bring athletes to the next level. Call 203-268-1214 for more information. Like and follow us on Facebook.
Welcome back to this Monday edition of your Coffee Break on the HAN Network. I'm Kate Czaplinski, recapping some of the top stories we're following today. Fire engulfed and completely destroyed a barn at 986 South Avenue in New Canaan Sunday night, and blowing embers started small fires on 3 neighboring structures and nearby brush. Now, those were quickly extinguished by firefighters, and there were no reported injuries. The cause of that fire remains unknown. According to New Canaan Fire Chief Jack Hennessy, was at the scene at 8:30 p.m. Now, neighbors at the scene reported flames 40 feet in the air and higher, and flames fully involved the barn when firefighters got to the scene. Route 124 South Avenue in New Canaan and Mansfield Avenue in Darien was closed in both directions at the time, as fire, police, EMS, and CERT workers were in the road and staged for further assistance. Now, the 1,400 square foot barn is on the property with a house built in 1790, according to the New Canaan tax assessor's website. The 3-alarm fire brought firefighters from Darien, Norwalk, Vista, Pound Ridge, and Wilton to support New Canaan, which was in command at the scene. Now, many of those responders were in the woods, knocking down burning trees and checking on neighboring structures to eliminate any threat from more embers. Chief Hennessy had also advised firefighters to stay out of the collapse zone, as it appeared that the charred frame of the barn might fall down. There's more on that story and updates at ncadvertiser.com. And Easton area first responders rescued an injured bicyclist from Trout Brook Valley last Friday afternoon and took him to the hospital for treatment of a broken leg. Now, the man used his cell phone to call for help around 1:30 p.m. after breaking his leg while riding his bike on a trail in the nature preserve. A 911 dispatcher was able to pull the GPS coordinates off his phone, according to Sergeant Jonathan Arnold of the Easton Police Department. The man was at an unknown location about 2 miles from his starting point, believed to be the Well Hill Road entrance to Trout Brook Valley. Now, 6 first responders from Easton Police, Easton Fire Department, and volunteer EMS walked into the preserve to look for the injured man. Getting to him was a challenge because of the rough terrain and spotty wireless coverage. Now, they called in mutual aid from Weston and from the Long Hill Fire Department in Trumbull, both which provided all-terrain vehicles. Now, after about a 2-hour search, they were able to find the man, and the 6 first responders carried him out in a basket for 100 feet to the trail and that the ATVs could access, and then take him to an ambulance that was on the road. Aside from the broken leg, the man was otherwise in good shape. And Shelton police arrested a resident for allegedly breaking into a home and stealing the owner's belongings. Last Thursday, October 19th, Shelton police arrested 20-year-old Michael Noonan and charged him with 5th-degree burglary and 3rd-degree larceny. Now, Noonan's arrest stems from a burglary complaint that was filed with Shelton police back in June of 2017. The complainant said he arrived home and discovered his apartment was broken into while he was out and that cash and property were taken. Well, during the investigation, the detectives were investigating a separate case, and while interviewing suspects, they learned that Noonan and another Shelton man were responsible for that burglary. You can get more on that story at sheltonherald.com. And 3 juveniles were arrested Saturday after state police located them in a car that was stolen out of New Canaan. On Saturday around 12:30 in the morning, troopers and officers from the Southbury Police Department were dispatched to the area of Woods Way Road in Southbury to attempt to locate that reported motor vehicle that was believed to be in the area. Now, New Canaan police had contacted state police asking for help locating the car, which was stolen from their town on October 19th after they received some information that it was in Southbury. Now, troopers and officers officers searched the area and located that stolen BMW on Beacon Hill Road. The BMW was stopped and 2 juveniles were immediately taken into custody. 2 additional juveniles ran from the car into the nearby woods. Now, troopers, Southbury Police, and State Police Canine teams searched the area in the woods for those 2 juveniles, and one of the 2 that ran from the scene was later apprehended by a State Police Canine and taken into custody. The 3 juveniles, ages 15, 16, and 17, were charged with motor vehicle theft as well as 6th-degree larceny and interfering with an officer. All right, let's take one final look at the forecast with Frank. Frank.
Thank you, Kate. Again, we're seeing mostly cloudy skies today, an expected high of 74 as it's a little bit warmer out again. Mostly cloudy skies continue overnight. It's going to be humid out, a low of only 62, and we could see a passing shower or 2 later on carrying into Tuesday morning. That Tuesday morning rain is going to turn very heavy around the middle part of the day. It's going to be extremely breezy out, wind gusts around 25 miles per hour. A little on the warmer side, still temperatures in the mid-70s. There's a chance for scattered thunderstorms, believe it or not, tomorrow afternoon. And the heavy rain expected to continue overnight with chances of flooding before Wednesday morning. We'll see on and off periods of rain and drizzle, Wednesday morning, but showers are expected to pass by noon. Mostly cloudy skies for the afternoon. Cooler out tomorrow night, temperatures down in the 40, and we could see 1 or 2 more passing showers before Thursday. That'll do it for this weather update. We go back over to Kate for now.
All right, thanks so much, Frank. And we kind of have a busy evening coming up, Frank.
A big evening coming up, yeah. It is Breast Cancer Awareness Night for Fairfield Ward and Fairfield Ludlow and girls volleyball. We're going to be down there at Fairfield Ward High School. First serve is at 7 o'clock. We'll be on the air before then, joined by some of the captains, and we'll have a lot of fun with that one.
Yeah, looking forward to that. All right, well, we are going to wrap things up here on your coffee break. We'll see you tomorrow at 11 with the latest local news and more. Enjoy the day.